Well, hello YouTube community, it's your old pal Henry here from Mid-Central Model Works. Today we might be making some people mad. The other day I was watching a video from Kim over at Kim's Customs, and he was talking about, or wanting our opinion, on the thoughts of 3D printing or 3D printed stuff in model shows. Should that be legal? Or is it considered modeling? Again, here we go. We're beating the bush on this thing. It's we've gone round and round and round and round about this thing. So I'm going to give my 2 cents worth in my opinions, and y'all can take them, do whatever you want to with them. But I just thought that I'm getting tired of listening to all this. But anyway, Kim wasn't griping and complaining. He was attended some shows and whatnot, and I guess the talk through the town or whatever, the talk in the area was focused on that. So let me get that clear, that it was not Kim who's doing the complaining. It's just people at shows are doing complaining. And I witnessed this firsthand at our last Hope It Don't Snow show, because we had a meeting afterwards, and some of our own people brought it up. Should it be legal, or is it considered modeling? And I'm going to tell you right now, I think yes, it is. It's plastic. But anyway, let's look at this one thing, or several things. Y'all gotta excuse me, because I got a stack of notes here, and I gotta have my glasses to read them. All right, number one, models are based off of one-to-one cars. That's a given. So let's take a regular one-to-one car show. Say somebody pulls up with a Batmobile. That's not a regular street car. It was not a factory produced car. That would be, in the modeling world, considered something either scratch built or 3D printed. All right, you look at ZZ Top, they're Cadzilla. That's by no means factory stock or whatever. It's been modified, it's been chopped, it's been cut, it's been stretched, it's been this, it's been that. So you take people like Tom Daniels, Chip Foose, Boyd Connington. They put cars in car shows that's been heavily modified. In the modeling world, it's no different. It's modeling. That's what you do. It's modeling. So in this realm of debate and back and forth, this is what's known as gatekeeping. And what that means is, some people are unhappy. You want this in, but you can't have that in. This is considered modeling. That's not considered modeling. No, that's a load of crap. Because another thing here, what these people that are complaining about 3D modeling, what they don't realize is that there's a humongous learning curve to this thing. You've got to learn the software, you've got to learn slicing, you've got to learn supporting, you've got to mess with exposure time. Is it overexposed? Is it underexposed? You've got lift height, how far up do you want those layers to go? Is a little bit at a time, or do you want a bigger step up? So you've got to make adjustments for all that kind of stuff. So, and then you're looking at the designers who make this stuff possible for us. They go into programs like Blender and any kind of CAD program, and they have to design the files. And yeah, you can go online and buy 3D printed stuff, And I don't know if that's what they're complaining about or what. I don't really get the whole point of this thing. But yeah, if you start printing your own stuff, you don't just push a button and stuff pops out. No. You've got a lot of learning to do, and I'm still doing it myself. I've got trash bin over here, failed prints and stuff that I'll be happy to show you. I mean, it's just, it don't always work out. So anyway, enough of that. Then they're talking about the contests, all right. This hobby, when it comes to contests, folks, I'm going to tell you, this is not a cheap hobby, by no means. Now, if you want to just sit at your desk and build a shelf model, then you can get away with it for 40, 45 bucks. But people who enter these contests and these shows, yeah, you pour a lot of time and effort and just and another thing, when you're going to go enter a show and then you start complaining about this is there, that's there, this shouldn't be here. Number one, you're going to the show. You're thinking about putting your stuff in there. Every one of these shows puts out a flyer and a brochure. It is up to you, the entrant, the participant, to either call these people, email these people, and check on what's allowed, what's not allowed, and then it's up to you. If you go forward with it, then that means you accept it. So don't go to one of these shows accepting that fact and then start complaining. That's on you. You took a bite of that apple. All right. Yeah, okay. Another thing. When you go, expect to lose. Plain and simple. Expect to lose. So, if there's a legal entry on the table, don't gripe and complain about it. It's legal. All right. And here's what I don't get, folks. You griping and complaining, you whining over 3D printed parts. Should this be legal? Should that be legal? I'm going to a show. All right. You're spending $100, $150, $200 on a kit, and then doing, by the time everything's done, paint, wiring, 3D printed stuff, scratch built stuff, your plastic, your styrene, your glues, some people, I know some people, they'll spend $300, all right, and then you got another $400 or $500 on hotel. So, and all this for what, a $30 trophy or a $30 plaque or whatever. I mean, come on, people. So, we got that page out of the way. Let's go on to the next one. All right. The way this hobby grows is through advances in technology. Plain and simple. Because, yeah, there's still kits out there today that are using the same molds that they did in 1962. And yes, it's a crappy kit. But a modeler can take that crappy kit and turn it into something magnificent. And let's look at this too here. Whoever invented the 3D printing, whatever you call it, stuff, technology, you know, when he made that, or she made it, or whoever it was that invented this stuff, I'm sure they were taking stuff to the model shows. That person could have kept everything to themselves. But a modeler, every modeler that I know, not an assembler, but a modeler, every modeler that I know will more than happily share information with you, will share products with you, will share tips and tricks with you. So he don't just keep the stuff to himself, which he could. He had every right to. But look at the modeling industry now. It's growing by leaps and bounds. Why? Because of technology, because of pushing the limits. Nothing. Okay, here's another one. If you're not happy with the categories you enter and you want to try to change it to suit you, that tells me that you're not happy with what you can do or what you can't do. Plain and simple. I'm not trying to beat nobody down. I'm not trying to be harsh on anybody. It's the cold, hard facts. If you're trying to take a category from over here and turn it into something else, that means you haven't succeeded at whatever it is you're trying to do, and you're trying to give yourself an edge. So let's say you are successful at creating another category. Yay, good for you. But what you gonna do when you start getting beat in that category that you just created? Who are you going to whine to? Who are you going to cry to? It's been like this from the dawn of modeling. There's always been somebody or some group or something that's not happy with something the way things are going. You're never going to satisfy everybody. You're not. Plain and simple. You're not going to do it, folks. Okay? There are things that I can and cannot do. But the things that I cannot do, I don't let that bother me. I take a loss as a learning experience. I grow from that loss. I don't cry about the loss or whine about it. I'll go find somebody that knows more about this than I do and say, hey, you mind telling me how you did this? Or we built the same model, but yours took a different turn than mine. How did you do, or what did you do different? So, and you know, you can have your model right there beside your best friend. One's going to win, one's going to lose. It doesn't mean that you've got a bad model. It just means that it's all in the judging and what catches their eye. It could come down to one minute little thing. So, but don't let that beat you up. Don't let that make you go home and throw your model up against the wall, because the next contest you might win. You know. Which is another thing to hear. Fact. Some shows do have bad judging, and that's for another video. But it does happen. I've seen it happen. It is what it is. You just pick yourself up, go on to the next show. It's I don't know what else to say about that. But except it happens. Move on. Keep on trucking. Here's another thing. All right, find the person that beat you. Walk up to them, congratulate them, pat them on the back, tell them well done, well deserved. Because if it's a true modeler, chances are that is a well done vehicle, or a plane, or boat, or whatever. So, and like I said earlier, modelers will share tons of information. You must be able to take criticism and accept disappointments. You have to. If not, you're going to have a bad time in this hobby. Yes. Heartaches and disappointments, they live at model shows. That is their main residence. So you'll probably be greeted by heartaches and disappointments as soon as you walk in the door. So don't beat down this hobby. Ask yourself, what can you do to help improve it? Be willing to learn stuff. Ask questions. So, be a contributor. Do your part. I mean, it's help out wherever you can. Join a club. Do something. So, and folks, here I'm going to tell you this. Do not expect a participation trophy. Those do not live at a model show. If you're expecting a participation trophy, move on. Keep on trucking. It ain't gonna happen. Model shows can be brutal. They will hurt your feelings. So if you're thinking about doing a model show, go to several of them before you start entering. Just walk around, look at the competition, know what you're up against. Because if you're a mediocre modeler and you're thinking about putting your builds up against an AAA plus Dynamite Fantastico supermodeler, then you're gonna have to check yourself. So it's happened to all of us. It is what it is. Be happy with it. Grow, learn, educate yourself. Be happy. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. Alright, back to this gatekeeping stuff. One of the topics was 3D printed stuff. The other is scratch building. Oh, you're a scratch builder. Should that be allowed? Yes. It's modeling. It's modeling. Same with brass. Oh, he's got a brass built chassis. He soldered it. It's a model. Suck it up, Buttercup. It's a model. Because if you're not happy with 3D printing, then you're definitely not going to be happy with scratch building and brass work. So those 2 shades of red just turned into 3. So gatekeepers, most of the time, they're not satisfied with the quality of their own work, or they're either jealous of other people's work. Agree or disagree? And like I said earlier, gatekeeping has been around since the dawn of modeling. First, there was gripes and complaints about resin castings. Then came the gripes and complaints about photo etch. Then came scratch building, LED lighting. Where are we going to draw the line, folks? Where are we going to draw the line? So, go to shows expecting to lose. That's the best thing I can tell you. Go to a show, expect to lose. But if you win, yay. But while you're there, ask questions. Make friends. I've made so many friends in the last year. It's unreal. And the things that you find that you have in common, it's, you know, listen to the group chats, get in on the YouTube community, talk to people, share your information. Modelers, not assemblers, modelers, they put a lot of time, effort, experimentation. How many modelers have you seen that's had to do several repaints, or had to tear out a roll cage and put a new one in just because something just, they're perfectionists. They study this stuff. They know what they're doing. They're not just over there slapping glue on a kit. They're out there with the micrometers, with the rulers, with the squares, with the tape, with, oh man, with the little drill bits, making things as perfect as they can get it. Those who are complaining about the 3D printed parts, they obviously do not have any idea what goes into making a 3D printed part. That's it. Gatekeepers are never happy. Case in point, let's take a crafty kit. You take a modeler and you take an assembler. Okay? Same exact kit. 2 different people. A modeler's going to sand it, putty it, finesse it, sand on it some more, putty it some more. They're going to wire it. They're going to plumb it. They're going to check for levelness. They're going to check for stance. They're going to check how exhaust is hanging. But an assembler, they're going to slap it together and then complain about the modelers because they're not willing to take the time to put in to doing it. They're doing a shelf model, which is, there's nothing wrong with that. If the best you can do is box stock, then by all means do box stock, but do it to the best of your ability. Don't just half-ass it. Normally I apologize for the language, but I'm just telling you that's the best way I know how to explain it. You know the take a drive shaft, for example. There's usually a seam that runs down that drive shaft. I can't tell you how many times I've looked at a model in a model show and see that mold line, see that seam line. Same thing with body lines. You'll see that. Now, if it's going on a shelf and not for a show, it doesn't matter. But that's what I'm talking about with competitions, with stuff like that. You can't build on a shelf queen level and expect to take it to a show and beat a modeler, because they take time, they look at everything. And it's like my good friend Mark Batson said, treat every piece as if it was its own model. And if you do that, then you'll have something worth bragging on. Folks, that's all I'm going to add today. I'm just going to let everything sit at that. So, in my opinion, I do think that 3D printed parts should be allowed, because they are a form of plastic. Who says that injection molding has to be the main go-to form of model building? So, folks, we can't have a bunch of gatekeeping going on. That it just won't happen. Because if you get to the point to where you start stripping everything down and complaining about every little thing, then all you're going to have is box stock. That's it. And even then, you still won't be happy. So, I'm sorry for the long rant. I'm like Lucas C now. I'm fixing to blow my face off here. I hope not. I hope you got something out of this. Because sometimes people need a little stern talking to, and I'm your friend. I'm your buddy. If I can help, contact me. If you need a tip or need stuff, the YouTube is full of them. Years ago, all we had was a magazine, or one or two varieties. We had model cars, we had Scale Auto Enthusiast, and there was Fine Scale Modeler. And now I'm not talking about stuff for ships and planes and stuff. There's magazines for those too, but those of us in the model car world, our choices were limited back in the early days. And the technology that you have right now, if I was just now getting into modeling, I couldn't ask for anything better. Because it's a wealth of information out there. Now, don't take every video that you watch for heart, because that may be that person's way of doing something. Just like I tell you in mine, this is the way I do it. It may not be the best way to do it. There might be a better way to do it, but it's the way I do it. So you got to watch out for that kind of stuff too. So, but you can still watch it and make mental notes, or have your notebook handy and write stuff down. It may work for you, it may not. You might find a better way. So, folks, I'm going to wrap it up. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. I don't mean to hurt anybody's feelings, but y'all take care. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.